other songs.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
FFF episode 1152. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valleymont. I can't tell you where. I don't know exactly. I'm bad with directions. This show, we'll hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, the Brewmaster, and
Mike's Daily Podcast.
The return of the much-loved, informative segment that informs you called Do You Know Dat?
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Well, over the weekend I went for a walk with a bunch of dog walkers, and then we had apparently a bunch of talkers who talked about interesting places you can take your dog walking on trails in the Bay Area. I can't think of anything else to sing about in this song.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
There was also... I was wearing a t-shirt on
Mike's
Friday that had a
Daily
cassette,
Podcast.
like an artistic cassette drawing on my shirt. And one of the guys I work with, who's been in radio a little bit longer than I have, a little bit older than me, went on this long cassette tangent, and it made me realize, oh my gosh, I'm so glad cassettes are gone. I'm so glad magnetic tape is gone. I'm just not a fan. Oh yeah, it's old-timey radio, cool, but like this guy has saved all those, big, they call them reel-to-reel, those big reels of tape, almost look like a film reel. They used to, well, this guy saved a lot of the magnetic tape. And apparently he's got some big important things on there, like, actual performances of the Metropolitan Opera in New York from like way back in the 60s. So he's got some important stuff on the tape, but he has so much of it that he said he probably could never move because he just got so much stuff. And to me, that's like, no. I know I got a lot of stuff. I got a lot of cassettes. I moved, in a couple of years, I moved like 3 times. And let's say, I took all the cassettes that I had and divvied them up. Look, just walked in. Just as I'm trying to talk about something, you walk in. Hi, Mike. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How y'all doing? It's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Yeah, we came in here to interrupt you. All right. That's my life. Everyone's always interrupting me. Go ahead, interrupt me. Magnetic tape. You were saying something about it. Oh. Yeah, just that I had a lot of cassettes, and you can hear actually some of the interviews I saved on cassette on the cassette cubbyhole at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST-1152-Filter. But really, it takes up so much space, and it's so wonderful now in our digital world how we can take up so little space. It's all hard drive space, but, who cares as long as the hard drive doesn't die? I guess a cassette could break, but I got very good at splicing cassette tape back together again. You got to take some Scotch tape, your little Scotch tape dispenser, and cut a piece off. Oh, look who else just walked in.
Hello, Mike. I make the root beer. I'm the Brewmaster. Oh, boy.
Brewmaster, what are you doing this morning?
Mike, I am cooking up some delicious breakfast.
Oh, you are? Right there, cooking it up on our stove. That's right here.
Yeah, on the stove. That's right here.
I like to do my show right by the stove. Ah! I just burned myself with bacon grease. Ouch.
Sorry.
That also dovetails nicely into this.
Sorry.
Well, you would make the little thing, and then you had to use an X-Acto knife to get it to really work, to get it right at the right spot. And then the cassette would never really be the same because you had this really thick chunk of Scotch tape holding the rest of the tape together. It was a plan, anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
Anyway.
Cafe, anyway. But it got the cassette to work. So, magnetic tape, glad it's gone. Don't care about it. I won't talk any more about it because I was bored to tears by the end of the conversation of him talking about the cassette of the tape, magnetic tape, because it brought back to me so many memories of working with magnetic tape. I was not a fan. Not a fan. I love the digital. But, you know, we live in a digital world. Hey, I was walking with these dog walkers and talking with them and having a wonderful time. And one of the guys, probably in his late 60s, he's a big-time runner. Although, you know, running, I'm in the camp of running's not that good for you. You know, when you got a lot of energy, when you're young, running's great, gets your energy out, heart rate and everything, but it's just so bad for your legs. Oh, but Mike, you need to stretch beforehand and everything will be fine. No, it won't be fine. And this guy, he tore like something in his leg from all the running that he did and had to cut his 8 miles of running every day down to 2 miles. And he looked at me, because he was one of the dog walkers, and he said to me, "You're not a runner, are you?" How am I supposed to take that? This guy lacks a filter or something. He, you know, I know possibly I'm overly sensitive or something, but I guess I don't look like a runner. I guess I'm a fat... So he said that, and I'm like, all right. And then he also said something about Basil the boxer, the wonderful dog that I own, and said, oh, he's a boxer. Yeah, he'll die at 8 years old. Yeah, you want to know the age of Basil? It's 8. So thank you. And that's a lie. Boxers don't all die at 8. A lot of them make it past that. I met a 13-year-old boxer the other day in Hayward, so shut up. What is it with some people lack filters? They don't hear what they're saying, and they don't take their audience into consideration. I don't get that, you know? Yeah, oh, thank you. Nice dog. Your dog's gonna die tomorrow. Thanks. What is that? So last show I was discussing Beauty and the Beast and how I saw that on Thursday in Podcaster Valley, and it's done by this church, and at the end one of the preachers for this church comes out and he tries to bring, you know, the story of Beauty and the Beast around to the Bible. Why is it preachers need so much affirmation from the audience? They're always like, they're like, I'm talking to you and I'm not saying, don't you think that? Or a lot of people today go, yeah, so I was walking with dogs. Dog walkers are cool, right? They say right a lot, right? And then you do that, right? And I don't need affirmation from you. I'm telling you something. I'm entertaining you or informing you or something. I don't know what this is. But why do they're always like, can I get an amen? That's what they say a lot. Can I get an amen? Why do they need so much affirmation? Are they that insecure? Anyway, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com is a wonderful website that has all the past podcast pictures. Speaking of which...
And here's today's podcast picture.
Today's podcast picture is a little discussion between me and the wonderful engineer we have here at Cafe Anyway, John Deere, the engineer, who just happened to walk in.
Hi, Mike. Yeah, I need a lot of affirmation. I'm very insecure.
There, you're great.
Thank you. Can I get an amen?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's a picture of us discussing something. I don't know exactly what. I haven't drawn it yet, but it's a cartoon there at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Also, all the past shows and past interviews I've done. And you can help out the show. There's a link there to Amazon. Click on that link and buy whatever it was you're going to buy on Amazon. That helps us out tremendously. Thank you. There's also a PayPal link if you're going to donate to the show. You'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters. And well, let's get to Do You Know Dad?
It's Bison Bentley's Do You Know Dad?
Hey, this is Bison Benltey, and Mike Matthews has a couple of stories that'll make you want to ask yourself, do you know Dad? Do you know Dad? Do you know Dad? Do you know Dad? Do you know?
I just find it interesting. At the Republican convention a couple weeks back, there were no Republican presidents or former presidential candidates except for Dole. And Bob Dole has been on record as saying he dislikes the Tea Party. So I don't know what he was doing there, because there were a lot of Tea Partiers. Actually, there wasn't, right? Because Ted Cruz was the big magnus opus Tea Partier. And he was there, but he was not happy being there. And he didn't ever endorse Trump during the whole thing, which was the big controversy. So Trump is blaming the media. He's blaming that the elections are going to be rigged. He's just spreading as much paranoia-ness anywhere he can. He's got a big paranoia hose, and he's spraying it everywhere. He's covering all of his bases in case he loses. He'll have thrown so many questions out there and uncertainty about our government. Oh, but Mike, it's already there, the uncertainty of our government. Yeah, actually, you were supposed to say that, Disgruntled Fiddle Player.
Well, it's just implied.
That there's uncertainty with the government?
Yeah, the government's a big, bad, horrible thing.
But once Trump becomes president, he'll be part of the government, and he'll be a big, bad thing.
Yeah, but right now he's not.
Okay. So don't think about the future then.
Just go on with your story.
Okay. Oh, was Benita gonna leave? Bye! She leaves because she has things to do. So the leader of Lebanon's Hezbollah group cited Donald Trump in accusing the U.S. and President Obama of creating the Islamic State, becoming the latest American adversary to quote or praise Trump. Echoing him, Syed Hassan Nasrallah also accused Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton of helping create the militant Sunni group, a rival to the Shiite Hezbollah. Both are considered terrorist organizations by the U.S., and Nasrallah's remarks revived a claim that Trump initially trumpeted and then downplayed as being sarcastic. So, you have several dictators and scary world leaders, tyrants, endorsing Trump. This is wonderful. And endorsing things even that Trump has said they endorse his sarcasm. Nasrallah said, "This American candidate who speaks in the name of the American Republican Party has facts that can support this assertion." The Hezbollah comments expanded the roster of rogue foreign leaders or groups making comments complimentary or supportive of Trump. This according to MSN News. In December, Putin termed the Republican the absolute leader of the presidential race. And then, of course, there were all the hacking of the DNC from the Russians, and now they've apparently hacked the Republican National Convention or committee as well. And an official mouthpiece of North Korea's government said that Trump in June is a wise politician. Trump called Obama and Clinton, who served as Secretary of State from 2009 to 2013, co-founders of the Islamic State during a campaign rally on August 10th. And he didn't downplay the comments until much later. In fact, Michael Medved, who we carry on one of the stations I work for, he was so upset at Trump for even saying that. And I actually respect Michael Medved for that, because there's all this hypocrisy of saying things about our sitting U.S. American president, saying things that are very subversive to our president, about our president. And, you can ban the Dixie Chicks for saying that kind of stuff, but then you can't ban Trump. I mean, you can't, boycott Trump. Well, I guess a lot of people hate Trump, but anyway, he since had downplayed it as sarcasm, echoing his response to the outcry over earlier remarks in which he exhorted Russia to hack Clinton's emails. A White House spokesperson declined to comment on the most recent comments. And Vice Presidential candidate Mike Pence for the Republicans, in an interview taped on August 12th and broadcast on Fox News, said that Trump hadn't been joking. He was being very serious, and he was making a point that needs to be made, that there is no question that the failed policies of President Obama and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in the wider Middle East created a vacuum within Iraq in which ISIS was able to arise. Well, as we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. So, Michael Phelps, 23 gold medals, wow. And now he's done. He says he's retired. He's done being a fish. What a tremendous athlete. Oh, let's steer back to politics. One last time, Leon Panetta apparently said that Americans should move on from Clinton's emails and stop with the whole thing. Well, it wasn't that Bernie Sanders said, like, the first debate that he didn't care about the emails. But now, next show, it's going to be... We're outside, aren't we? Yeah. It's beautiful. Smell the air. So nice outside a cafe anyway. It's a little overcast, but whatever. It's early. I'm recording this at 6:30. Yikes. Well, I hope you have a great day and a great week. That's a little bit of what's going on in the world. If Trump becomes our president, let's not think that far yet. Let's think... I guess you could think that far. You probably should think that far, huh? One of the cool things of working for the business station that I work for, it's interesting because there's a lot of theories about what's going to happen to our economy when Trump takes over. Certainly the cement makers are going to make a lot of money because they're going to start building that wall. So yeah, maybe we should look at the future. But anyway, next, look to the future to the next show. It is going to be Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Benltey.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Can I get an amen?